minute. Who are you?
What's up, everybody? It's Evan Money back again, joined by my brother, JC the Blind Jedi.
Hey, everybody.
So we are here to give you our UFC 257 predictions, which is probably one of the most anticipated returns with Conor McGregor main eventing against Dustin Poirier. Before we dive into this card, this past Saturday we had a fight night. It was first fight night on ABC, and wow,
man,
great card to debut on ABC. Great card.
First of all, the prelims were nice. They had some good fights on the prelims.
Yes.
But then they brought the main card. And if it was your first time just going, oh, okay, well, ABC is free TV. I can watch it. I don't have to put anything into this. And you put it on, you were blown away.
No, absolutely.
You were blown away.
There was a lot of highlights. Mainly when you got to the co-main event and the main event is where you saw exactly what the UFC is trying to push. I mean,
warriors.
Absolute warriors.
Warriors, man. Guys.
Carlos Condit versus Matt Brown, hell of a fight.
Oh yeah.
Showed exactly what an old, grizzled, tough vet in the UFC is all what they're made of. I mean, both of them.
Literally, because I remember Condit. He used to be the 170-pound champion over at the WEC before they merged with the UFC.
Yeah.
And I remember when he first came over to the UFC, he struggled. In fact, I think he lost his first match. I think to I forget who it was. But anyway, and then he just went on a tear. He was the interim 170 champion while GSP was down. And I mean, he is just a rock solid veteran. Matt Brown. He's an alumni, an Ultimate Fighter alumni, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and if you want to talk about a man's man, about
old
somebody
school.
who is, you look at him and you realize like this guy is not meant to be messed with, it's Matt Brown. And every fighter that has ever interacted with him, everybody that's ever interacted with him, would tell you the exact same thing.
You know those Western movies where you see that lone gunslinger sitting there just
exactly.
You're like, yeah, don't go over and fuck with him.
No.
That's Matt Brown. He brings it every single time. Even in losses, which he did lose. And I don't disagree. I still think he should have taken that first round.
Yeah.
I still think he should have won that first round. But he did lose the match, but it was 10-9 the whole way, and if you could have given him 9.5s, you should have.
Yeah. Now the main event was not.
That was one-sided all the way, and man, that's
Max Holloway showed exactly why people have doubts about him losing his title anyway, and even losing the rematch. Calvin Kattar is a heavy-handed. I mean, dude
he was a knockout artist.
He's been lighting people up.
I mean, just picking them up, throwing them down, and hitting them, and just destroying people.
Max Holloway made him look like an amateur. I mean, he was lighting him up. It was a complete clinic on how to... Perfect stand-up. That's basically what it was. It was a perfect stand-up game for Max Holloway in this main event. And in my opinion, I know Ortega's got the next title shot, but no matter what happens, Holloway, you could put him right back in there into the title picture, and there'd be no issues.
Yeah, I think he deserves a winner, really.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's no reason why. I mean, especially that fifth round, he's punching him. The dude falls back enough for Holloway to realize I'm out of range. I'm going to talk shit to the corner and to Dana White while there's still fans, and that was the best thing about it, to see fans in the arena. Oh man,
yeah, what a relief. It was nice and refreshing to have that.
It wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't like it wasn't, because you could see it was properly done, socially distanced. The fans were wearing masks.
Yeah.
But man, it still brought a different atmosphere. It was good, but there was still not enough fans. But you still heard every punch.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, and Max lit him up.
I mean, Max even looked over the commentary team and said he was the best boxer, in the division. And I think I'm pretty sure he said in the division. I can't remember because I was so like amped
Yeah,
up. Watching
yeah.
the fight, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Tonio and I were just jumping off of the chair all the time. We couldn't believe it. That fourth round, I thought it was over. We all thought it was over. I mean, he had time while Qatar was just stuck in the corner like this, where I'm gonna just load this elbow up and put it into his forehead like 4 or 5 times.
He was trying to set the elbow up every time,
and he was looking for it.
We, currently right now we're shooting this on on a Monday, which is a little early in the week for this. Calvin Kattar was stumbling like Patrick Mahomes was yesterday when he got knocked down. That's how bad it looked. Now for Mahomes, nobody's attacking him, but for Kattar, somebody was still coming after him.
Yeah.
So I expect Calvin Kattar to bounce back from this. I mean, he was a warrior. He showed
grit. Yeah, he took a beating for 5 rounds.
Now I would say that Max Holloway is healthy enough to where you could put him on the Ortega card.
Didn't he say something against that?
Against Zabit. Well, he actually mentioned that he would be available if Poirier or McGregor drop out.
Oh, okay. So
this weekend. So, again,
I can imagine him trying to put on weight.
We never know what might happen. Like I said, when we were shooting this on
a Monday,
you're going to be watching this on a Friday. If there's any updates, I'll be adding it in the editing process afterwards. But yeah, I mean, if he does make it, I'd like to see Holloway versus Zabit and put them on the Volkanovski Ortega card.
Really?
I think that would be extremely
I don't have a
exciting.
problem with that. I don't have a problem with that.
Zabit's earned it, and if Holloway can beat Zabit, then boom.
Oh man! Yeah.
But Zabit's a tough guy, so yeah. Let's get into this main card here.
All right.
Let's get into 257. So.
All right. So here we go into the first one. That's the. Are we doing the women's strawweight?
Yeah.
That's how we're opening with Marina Rodriguez versus Amanda Ribas. I've never understood how to say her last name.
Me neither.
Ribas, Ribas. Just because I don't know how to say her name doesn't mean I don't know who she is. She's a warrior, as is Rodriguez, though.
Yes.
Rodriguez is Amanda's got some mileage on her. I'm not gonna lie. She's been in the UFC for a while. Not to say that Marina hasn't, but we have to throw everything out the window after March of 2020.
Yeah.
You really, because there was nothing on there. Everything kind of hung in limbo. There are people who still can't get into that still can't get clearance and stuff like that. There's, and there's literally guys coming off the street and that are making their way up the rankings without having to look back.
Yeah.
So really we have to just take this from what, 246, 245?
Yeah.
Literally from what was it? Shoot.
It was like February. I don't even. It's been so long.
Yeah. Wow. It's wow. Yeah. So
let's get into the meat of the fighters here. For Rodriguez, she lost her last fight by decision to Carla Esparza. Before that, she had a draw and she had a decision win. Now, losing by decision, again, it's always kind of hit and miss.
Losing to Esparza, though. Carla Esparza is a monster.
Yeah. I mean, but you're not coming. She's not riding high on anything. Her last win was, it was back in 2019. So, you had a draw and then you had a loss. There's not a whole lot of momentum coming in with you.
Okay.
And again, yeah, you lost to Carla Esparza, who's very good, but still, the draw just throws me. I hate draws.
Oh man,
I hate them. I can't do. I I hate him more than I have hated anything in my entire life because it's just ridiculous.
I know something he hates. Where's watch? Chris Weidman.
Okay, I hate Chris Weidman. But no, it's I don't know. It's just bad.
You're right. Because you can take this as one of two ways. Because first of all, you're going up against Carla Esparza, who's a monster. I remember that fight with her and Thug, Rose Namajunas, and those two went to war with each other. And Rose came out just a little bit ahead, but Carla Esparza, and then she goes and beats up Caitlin Chukagian.
Yeah, which we've already talked enough about her.
Yeah, I'm the only reason I know how to say her name perfectly is because we've talked so much about her.
Yeah.
And why is she still? But this whole thing has some things going. This whole matchup just is muddled.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with it. Amanda's one of those journeymen, and in the same way that, man, maybe I should pick her because what did Tim Means do to Pyle?
Yeah, no, I mean that's true. And to me, it feels like this fight was like, you two have nothing to do. Here you go. I mean,
yeah, it's like, hey,
number
you know
8,
what? We
number
need,
9.
yeah.
So I mean, you know, as far as
who's going to move up in this, and what are you going to? So if 8 beats 9, what happens?
Nothing.
If 9 beats 8, you switch places. Okay, maybe this is filling out a contract, but what are these two fighting for? I don't really get it. I'm gonna take Amanda in this one, for the simple fact is that I just have more confidence in a journeyman. A journeyman knows how to get it done.
Yeah, Ribas or Ribaz, I don't know.
Ribas.
Yeah, Ribas. She has a good takedown game. She's got a good submission game, and she has won recently. She hasn't drawn or lost. So
yeah,
I'm going with Amanda as well. I don't see how. I mean, I'm not even going to bother looking at the rankings because this isn't going to play much of a factor in this division whatsoever after this. So yeah, we're both going with
Amanda.
Yeah.
All right, good luck, Amanda. Okay, so the next fight is a lightweight bout between Matt Frivola and Otman Azatar. Yes.
Okay, so as I was doing the edits for this video, it came across that Otman Azatar has actually been released from the UFC. According to reports, Dana said that he had violated the COVID-19 protocols that they have there, and if you want to read about it, you can look it up and all that stuff. But basically, somebody came in that they weren't allowed in. They weren't tested or anything like that. Came in, gave Otman a bag, dropped it off. So unfortunately, that fight won't be on the card. As far as his opponent, he's been moved to the prelims. So he will be the main event in the prelims, and a middleweight fight. It hasn't been set in stone, but I think a middleweight fight is going to be the fight that takes over that. So enjoy the rest of the video.
Okay, it's Jessica I and Joanne Caldwell. And right away, man, yay. Now, here's some people who can fight. Jessica I is coming, what, are we doing this at 135 or 115?
I believe this is a flyweight.
So we're going in at 115. So Jessica I,
she's coming down,
so she's coming down all the way to 115, which is mixed results. 20 pounds is a lot to cut, even for a female.
And she's doing it against the number 7 women's flyweight. It's not like she's coming down and fighting somebody who's unranked. She's coming down to a top 10 fight. So that's kind of weird.
Is she coming down to make a run at 115, or?
You know, I don't know. I think that again, with the way that the women's champions have been dominating so much.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah, I
figured, man, go for 25, man. The weakest link is the weakest link at that point right there.
Yeah.
is 25. Man, there's only 3 champions in the women's divisions.
Yeah, and it's
not funny. I mean, it's not funny. It's just dominance. It's just you've got a nice mix of like 10 women that just control everything, and it's really they're the ones that just are running the top of those pay-per-views. But Jessica, she's another one of those UFC women that have been here for a while. She was here during the Ronda Rousey era.
Yeah.
And she's good. And that's what I get. But so is Joanne Calderwood. Ugh.
I mean, from what I'm seeing here, looking more and more into it, yeah, I guess, I mean, she's been down.
Yeah.
She's been fighting down here for, I don't know why they still have her
listed at 135.
Yeah, she's still listed at 135, but she's ranked.
Yeah, I kind of thought. I thought we've heard this. I thought we've heard this conversation about Jessica before.
Well, yeah, because she has faced Valentina, so, which again, that's
okay. So if she's lost to Valentina, but she's going up against number 7, and what? I think this is so that she holds her place.
Yeah, I think this...
I really think this is so that Jessica can hold that place, so that she can stay within that, so that she can pull
If
that.
anything, Jessica I has everything to lose. She has nothing to gain from this.
No.
She'll just maintain.
Yeah, but there are reasons to hold that maintained spot. I mean, if you're in the top 5, you're on Dana's list to call for a title shot.
Yeah.
And if you're not in that top 5, you're in a contender spot to get to there. And maybe that's where Calderwood is. Maybe she's in that spot. Maybe it's time for her to see if she can make it up to 5.
I think if she wins this, which I'm going with Calderwood in this fight anyway. I think if she does do this, I think it elevates her. You put in, name recognition in the fight biz is always key.
Yes.
It does not matter how many fights they have lost. I mean, if I walked in right now and I beat up Anderson Silva, I still beat up Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. And Anderson Silva's way out of his prime. So it really does. Name recognition does play a huge factor here.
Yes, it does.
So I'm going with Calderwood. I think that I think it'll be a good fight. It'll be a good competitive fight, not something that you'll see on the highlight reels of the card.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a good fight, but I think Calderwood's going to come out because I think Jessica is on the wrong end of her career.
All right. You know what? I'm going to stay with I on this one just because I do think that she's got enough stand-up to finish somebody.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I do think she has, and I have put so much stock into the grapplers early on. And have been proven wrong. So I'm just, you know what? If you can make somebody's jaw go like that, you're getting it for me on this one.
Yeah.
Hint, hint. So, yeah, I'm gonna give Jessica the fighting chance on this one. I'm gonna give her that puncher's chance. So I'm gonna say her over Calderwood. But that's just that one.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the co-main event, we have Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler. Now, let's get one thing really clear here, okay? If you follow the UFC, you obviously know who Dan Hooker is. If you have no idea of anything outside of the UFC, you have no idea who Michael Chandler is. But
yeah,
Michael Chandler definitely would be a top 5 fighter in the UFC had he done everything he did out of the UFC in the UFC.
Yeah.
He came over from Bellator. One of the few times I think you'll see somebody no offense to Bellator, but I think one of the few times you'll see a prospect come from Bellator that Dana's like, oh yeah, you're good enough, I'll take you.
Ben Askren.
Well, he was from one, so, and that was a trade for who he was really trying to get rid of. I'm excited to see this because I've watched a lot of Michael Chandler's stuff, and I always enjoy his fights. Dan Hooker's always exciting.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a really fun fight to watch. Little fact that I just found out while I was, looking up all the research for all this. Michael Chandler's second fight at Strikeforce Challengers, Woodley versus Bears, back in 2009 was here in Kansas City, and it was against a guy named Richard Bufonavon. Ironically, Richard Bufonavon and I went to the same high school.
Oh, really?
So, and the Bufonavon name is huge at Belton for their wrestling. So,
okay, actually, I do know what you're talking about.
You will see that name all over the wrestling.
Is it at the new school?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I do. Because you did go to the old one.
Yeah, I did go. I did.
But that was after. Yeah, my kids had to experience that. So
yeah,
the changing of the schools over at Belton. But that's an unrelated issue. Now this one, as I like Dan Hooker for this one.
I can fully agree with you on that one. I can understand why you would.
It's nothing against Michael Chandler because I have seen his stuff as well.
Yeah.
But Hooker is just a monster. He, like the Korean Zombie, he's got that juggernaut way. If he just plows forward, he doesn't give up. He will take a punch to give a punch.
Oh yeah.
He will invite the exchange. He will, that boxing term. He'll put his foot inside the tire and he'll go toe to toe with it. He's not afraid. But Chandler, man, I do want to give him credit. He is going to put up a fight, and I'm excited for this one. I don't think it's going to be like some overwhelming win.
No, I feel like this is going to be a war.
I think this is going to go to either a split or a majority decision, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I don't see either one getting knocked out. Looking here at Dan's last few fights, he had a decision loss against Poirier, who's obviously in the main event, and is definitely one of the top fighters in the division. He had
a decision loss to Poirier, though.
Yeah.
A decision loss to Poirier.
He had a split decision win over Paul Felder, a unanimous decision over Ali Aquinta, and he had a knockout over James Vick, which is always impressive because Vick is also another guy who loves to get in there and bang.
Yeah.
But, again, Chandler's coming in and looking at he's only got one decision in his last, 2 decisions in his last 5 fights. And this guy definitely loves to throw. I mean, his last 3 fights have ended in knockouts.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stick with Dan Hooker on this one. I know that he lost Dustin, and Dustin was the one who just beat up Max Holloway, but Max Holloway came back perfect. Dustin's a monster. He's in the main event, and Dan, by rights, should be here underneath Dustin.
Yeah.
If Dustin's in the main event, Dan Hooker deserves here, and Dan Hooker has the experience. That's what I'm going to give him, the experience edge over Michael Chandler. I know he's picking the upset. I'm going to stick with Dan Hooker on this one, just for the simple fact of giving him that UFC edge over the opponent.
Yeah. No, and again, I have no issues with that. If Dan Hooker wins, I'm not going to be surprised.
It's not like we're putting anything on this.
Yeah, I just happen to like Michael Chandler's odds. I think that the misconception that
I may be totally wrong. He may come out and
the
put
UFC has so much better fighters over everybody else in the world, which for a long time they did.
Yeah, it was no contest.
When you watch Michael Chandler fight, you just see that he's got it. He
looks like the natural. He looks like the natural in there.
Absolutely. So we're split on this one too. So that's all right.
That's all right.
Now we are on to the main event. Conor McGregor winning over Dustin Poirier. We got Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier.
Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, and I don't think it's any surprise here. We're both picking Conor.
Yeah, there's not. First off, let's bring up one thing. Dana White says that this looks like the old Conor. If this is the old Conor, the division better watch out, because the old Conor is a scary fighter. Mystic Mac he's untouchable. And honestly, even with the loss to Khabib, I still would give McGregor the best odds to go against Khabib. Really.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Don't get me wrong. He knows I love Khabib, and I always that's always my trump card. But having said that, man, it's gotta be Conor. It's gotta be, man. He is so precise. He understands those angles.
Yeah.
You're still here, and he's off to the here, getting ready, and that fist is almost here before you realize he's changed position.
If he says, I'm going to hit you literally 3 inches up,
I'm going to hit you right here.
Boom. It's there. It's every precision over power. That's exactly what he has preached.
And timing over speed.
And people just don't believe him.
They don't believe him. They think, I'm going to bull rush this guy. No. Wrestlers, I'm going to take him down. There's only one that's been able to successfully do it.
Yeah. And again, nothing away from Poirier at all. Nothing at all. But if this really is the Mystic Mac, Dustin, I'm sorry, man. You're a great gatekeeper for title contenders at that point. But there's no way around it. I also feel like Dustin has a lot to prove. He talked a lot of shit in their first matchup, which McGregor does well every time selling the fight. But I feel like Dustin's going to come out and try and be like, I have to get this win. I have to win. And that's where he's going to fall short, because this is going to be for who's going to face Gaethje, possibly who's going to face Khabib. Because Khabib said, if I see something special Saturday night, I'll come and fight them. Or it's going to be GSP. But he has to give up the belt for that. Dana did say he has to give up the belt for that. He has he has to vacate the belt if he wants to. If I
get Khabib one more time, I will buy the hat.
So I mean, I will buy the hat.
Huh?
If I could get my rocks off to watching Khabib and GSP go at it.
Oh man, that would be it. That would be it right there.
My rocks will get so far off, I'll make my own hat. You know what I mean? Oh man. That's what I love about this lightweight division. It is so stacked.
It is so talented. It is so exciting. This is what we get charged for every single time. Man, we haven't been this excited. We get this excited about the lightweight the way we used to get excited about the light heavyweight.
Yeah.
And man, it's just some great fighters. Now, on the same time, Conor, it's Conor. I do think Dustin's going to put up a good effort. This is the main event, so we'll go 5 rounds.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so
Connor's
Yeah.
calling. Let me look up and see what Connor said as far as his prediction, because I know he said that he was predicting something for the. Well, he did say, he said, "Prepare for fireworks" is one quote that he said, and yeah, you can tell he's ready to fight again.
Man. Okay, so yeah, see, the other thing that's got me feeling worried about Dustin is I know he put in a real training camp for this one, and I know Conor McGregor didn't spar. And then I watched what Holloway did last night, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Maybe it's better to go in fresher and hitting a bag than to come in with your knees all banged up from checking kicks for 5 rounds for 3 times a day. You know, so Dustin, don't get me wrong, man. God bless you. Maybe you pull something out, but you're going to have to really show it, because, and it's not that Conor McGregor can't get hit. He can get hit. He can get hurt. He can get stumbled. He is human. We have seen him lose, but not often.
No.
I've seen 3 losses. He avenged one. The other guy we're still waiting to see again. And the third one was in a sport that we're not even supposed to watch.
Yeah. Plus, you look at what he did to Cerrone with the beautiful shoulder. You obviously see that he's comfortable.
His fighting acumen is just there. He feels comfortable. He knows every single
so comfortable.
He knows
so comfortable.
He feels this is my ring. This is my ability. And I think Dustin is going to. Now, Dustin is. I hope that he trades. I hope we get a nice, good boxing war, a good stand-up fight and everything like that. But I do have a feeling that Dustin's going to try and neutralize Conor the moment he starts getting tagged and not liking it.
Yeah. Again, you know, when you go down, and I just pulled up all of McGregor's fights real quick, just to kind of give you guys a gauge here. So from 2014, he has basically been KOing people and been submitted twice.
Yep.
Now the decision went over Diaz. He was lighting Diaz up. I mean, he really
was. And Diaz ain't quitting.
No. So
Diaz ain't quitting. His face will come off, and there'll be like skull and an exposed bone and everything like that. But he ain't gonna quit. But that was that. Now, you know, I don't know. I mean, I would be interested in it, but by the same thing, I think there's more exciting fights for Diaz to fight, and I think this is Conor's time to shine at 155.
Yeah. And again, like I said, I mean, with all the news that came out with Khabib talking with Dana, there's a lot of exciting things that could happen in this division, because Khabib
for one more.
Really kind of made an emotional decision, and understandable. You lose your father.
Your mother's telling you to quit. That's it. You know, you honor your father's legacy. I understand that. If he comes back for one more, then it's got to be the big one, and then he puts it away. He's got to get. He's got to go for 30-0.
Yeah.
If he rounds out the number, you know, it's obvious he's going to be it's obvious he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No, without a doubt.
It's obviously he's a legend, and he deserves his place at number 1 pound for pound right now. Right now, John, you still have time to work on it. But it's just that whole situation he's blended a perfect storm and then walked away.
Yeah.
Just so that, you know, and maybe it's his marketing, maybe he's going to pull the trigger. But man, the people that are coming out of his camps, beasts.
Anybody who has a name that you can barely say.
Oh man,
total beast. Yeah. They were talking to Dana White on ESPN, and Dana is pretty sure that he can get maybe 2 fights out of Khabib. And I think the reason why he wants to get 2 fights is because he really wants that money fight with Conor to happen again, because the world wants to see a rematch.
No, the world absolutely wants to see a rematch, and I think it's getting close to that time. Like I said at the beginning, there's fans.
Yeah.
Even though it was only like what 20-30% of capacity.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was still great to hear the fans. You could hear the cheers, you could hear the boos, but you could hear the commentators and you could hear the punches. It was a really nice mix. I gotta believe this is how this thing works until everybody's vaccinated and we've got a better immunity throughout the world. The pandemic's finally behind us.
Yeah.
This was so great. So if you can get a gate going, yeah. And you want Khabib Conor too.
The big thing was with the fans, you could hear the excitement.
Oh,
it created such a great energy for the fighters, and the fighters were feeding off of it too. Like I said, Max was talking to the commentary team, and they were laughing, having a good. I mean, it felt again like
that fourth round,
COVID.
It did. That fourth round, man, they were just cheering him on, and you could hear the people going, oh, every time he was getting lit up. And Holloway knew what he was doing, man. That was such a smart performance.
Yeah,
he realized he had that, and when he realized he could show in the fifth, he brought it in the fifth.
Yeah.
He said, come here, let me show you the entertainer, and that was beautiful. That was such a great way to put that on. And in the same way, if you like that, wait till you see Conor.
Yeah.
Wait till you see that man
Not only does he look great, but he's been great in training. And every report you see out of Conor McGregor's camp and about people who have been around Conor, it's hey, Mystic Mac, he's back.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see. This is
going to be an exciting one.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely pumped for this. This is the correct way to open up the year. Again, if all you do is watch the last 2 fights, the co-main event and the main event, it is well worth paying for this pay-per-view, because there will be fireworks for sure. There will be fireworks. All 4 of these guys want something to happen. They're not going to stand there like 2 heavyweights afraid to bang. So, no, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, and
man, I'm ready, because we'll be bringing you the post-fight analysis right afterwards. So, man, we'll see you then.
So, until next time, I'm Evan Money. It's JC the Blind Jedi, and we'll see you then.